What's up, y'all? It's Ty. In this video today, I'm going to be doing a tutorial on rhythm shooting in NBA 2K25, specifically my team related, because I know a lot of people out there who are still struggling with rhythm shooting. And again, there are certain players that I'm not comfortable rhythm shooting with. So like the Pink Diamond T-Mac is one that, for example, I'm not comfortable shooting with. But for the most part, I rhythm shoot with every player in my team. Now, with that being said, I think there's a couple of important things to note, and specifically like off quick stops, right? So like if you quick stop, how do you rhythm shoot off quick stopping? You know, so you flick and then you rhythm shoot separately, like that just can be really complicated. So I'm gonna be going through all of those things. Now, it's important to remember, rhythm shooting, it's different for every player. So just like if you hold square, your release timing is different with every player. It's the same thing with rhythm shooting. Rhythm shooting is a little more difficult because you got to get the push timing and then the rhythm of it as well. So not only is there a push timing, there's a tempo to it as well. Okay, and so let's talk about it. Okay, so let's start with a guy like Wilt. So with Wilt, he's got a slow release. So for me, it's still not super difficult because the push timing kind of matches the tempo. You're going to find that some people's push timing matches the tempo. For Wilt, it's, slightly slower than a guy like Gary Payton as far as his push timing. But, I mean, the tempo is still relatively fast, relatively quick. And so that's what you're going to realize is not only like the push timing, but the tempo is variable as well. And so when I'm like looking at Wilt, what am I looking at? So like whenever he starts to push the ball, that's when your right stick is going to want to go from down to up. So like right stick now goes from down to up. So like right when you see him start to push, that's when you want to start your upward motion with your right stick. So start it. And then, obviously that's slightly slow because I was really trying to emphasize that. But right when he, starts that push motion is when you're going to start wanting to flick up. The tempo is how fast you're moving the right stick from down to up. So the timing should not change from, shot to shot. But again, what your cue is the push. So that should not change, right? You're still timing it. But the tempo is really the big change here that I like, looking at, like focusing on. Like for Brandon Roy, again, his release is so easy because it's similar to Gary Payton's is, you know what? You don't really have to, with some players, you don't have to think about really the tempo because it's so fast, it's so quick. It's just your comfortable motion. Now, when you're seeing my right stick, okay, a lot of people will roll it. A lot of people flick it straight up to down. What do? I kind of flick it from down. I'm just looking at my screen here. I kind of flick it from down to, kind of slightly up and right. So like you guys are seeing me shoot right now and where I flick it. I flick it basically from 6 o'clock to, 3 o'clock or 7 o'clock to 3 o'clock. It's whatever you're comfortable with. And so that really doesn't matter. But for me, it's one of those things that obviously you just got to do what you're comfortable with. Some people can roll it, it's shot like that. You can roll it. You can do a lot of different things. And again, for you guys, slow the video down to get what I'm doing down. So a lot of people struggle with the quick stop out of this too. What does that look like? So basically, you're holding R2 until you get stopped, and then you let go of everything and then start your stop. So holding R2, let go of everything, start your shot. Okay, that's how you do it out of a quick stop because a lot of people struggle with that as well. Okay, it's the same thing, right? Just a normal quick stop. Instead of holding square, you just shoot the ball. Now I'm trying to find a guy with a slightly slower release. So like Shawn Kemp, right? His upper is broken. I'm not even good at shooting with Shawn Kemp, but he's a guy where your tempo has to be slightly different than the push. Okay, and so like you're seeing it, and obviously again, if it's not off the dribble, it's not super difficult. But you guys are seeing like the tempo has to just be slightly slower than if I'm using a guy like Brandon Roy. And especially if you're using a fade. Like his upper on the fade is so slow and I'm like overdoing it. But it's tough to slow it down enough. So like, again, prime example is Shawn Kemp's fade going right. You've got to slow the tempo of it way down. And so not only, do you have to push it or time the push, but you have to be slow when it comes down to flicking it down. So for the fade, you want to go up to down. Now it's important. How do you use rhythm shooting on fades? Well, you basically have to be running straight sideways, okay? Because if you're not running straight sideways, I'll just kind of show you. So if you're not running like straight sideways, okay, that worked. But if you're not running straight sideways a lot of times, they'll give you like a step back animation, and that's not what you're wanting. And obviously I've gotten really good at it at this stage, but that's the thing. Like sometimes it'll give you a step back animation. So make sure if you're wanting to use rhythm shooting for fades that you are running straight sideways. And again, like for Shawn Kemp, for example, you got to be really methodical when it comes down to the tempo. The push timing doesn't change. So like when I start, the timing doesn't change from when I'm using a Gary Payton to Shawn Kemp. The main difference is Gary Payton's up to down is way faster, or the tempo of it is way faster than a guy like Shawn Kemp's. And even with the guy like Alex Caruso, why do I like Alex Caruso so much? His normal fade is so pure. You don't have to overthink it, right? Like you start it and you just finish it. Like you don't have to overthink, okay, I need to be slow with Alex Caruso's fade. It's one of the main reasons I like Alex Caruso is, number one, his release is pretty easy to time, easy green. But number two, it's the fade. And again, a lot of this is slowing my video down, you know, getting used to exactly what I'm doing. But it's one of those things, you know, it's repetition. You know, the more you guys get into shoot around and practice this, the better off you guys are going to be. And use it with different players. So for example, Victor Wembanyama, his release, pretty smooth, pretty solid. You know, it has a basic push timing, has a basic, you know, rhythm to it. You should not miss very many shots with Victor Wembanyama because it is so easy to time. And even when it comes to the fade, it's relatively easy. Now, a lot of people with a guy like Chet, a guy like Wemby, they go to the step back. Step back, it's the same thing. You got to time it. You got to time the push. You got to time the tempo. It is a little more difficult, you know, to do. And that's kind of why I like rhythm shooting. I like the addition of rhythm shooting added into the game because there is a, you know, extra skill to it. It's not just, oh, I just got to press square. There's an extra like skill to it, and it does improve your green window. So even if you guys are in like the beginner stages of, you know, playing my team, playing the game, I definitely would test out rhythm shooting. And a lot of guys, they have a pretty, you know, at this stage of my team, they have a pretty easy shot to time. You know, they really do. Now, I am gonna go to play now real quick with Jason Tatum, because that's where things can get a little more difficult. Because like Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, all these guys got just different set shots. So it gets more and more difficult. So like Jason Tatum's tempo is slow. So like his push timing stays the same. So you're gonna see me start flicking my down to up at the same time, but you just gotta do it way slower because the tempo of Jason Tatum's shot is way slower. So that might even be slightly fast. I felt it. The tempo of it is just way slower than, you know, a lot of other guys. And so this is the thing you really have to lab, is if you do use a guy like Jason Tatum, you got to know the tempo of him compared to a guy like Derek White is way different, because Derek White, you don't really have a slow tempo. It's just get it up, get it up on the rim. It's more like a my team shot. Whereas with Jason Tatum, you've really got to process the fact that, guess what? His release is very slow. Same thing with Al Horford. Like, the push starts at a relatively fast time, but you just got to be pretty slow and methodical when it comes down to the tempo of it. And so this is the skill gap, right? Like this is really the fun part about rhythm shooting, in my opinion, is yes, the green window is bigger, but there's so much more that goes on with this, and even a guy like Chet. A lot of people use this move with Chet in my team, and so I do want to show it off to you guys. It's like this step back with Chet is so tough to defend against. I've used it a little in play now, but it is so tough to defend against, because once you get this separation, and if you get that rhythm shot down, you can't guard that. Like, he gets enough space and enough separation that you literally can't guard that against Chet. You can't. It's literally nearly impossible to green. Now again, Chet's release, it's kind of, and a lot of these play now releases are going to be slower. Like, the push timing is going to be quicker, the tempo is going to be slower, and so that's just kind of the adjustment you guys are going to have to make. But a lot of it is the same thing. A lot of it is the quick stop into the, set shot. It's just way slower. So you're seeing me like shoot a lot of slightly fast right now. Because again, the push timing doesn't change. It's just all a tempo thing, right? Like, figuring out the tempo with all of these different cards is really the skill gap of shooting in this game. So with your specific my team, you only got, 10 guys to learn. A lot of them are going to have that quick release. What I would encourage you guys to do is, if right now you aren't using rhythm shooting, try it out. That's a big encouragement that I do have for you guys, is try it out. I know a lot of people who do rhythm shoot standing shots but don't rhythm shoot fades. That's another thing that I would encourage you guys to try out. You know, for me, for the longest time, until I missed that. But until I really started playing the game more and more, I didn't really rhythm shoot a lot, but it is something that I definitely would encourage you guys to do. And even like dribbling, okay? Learn how to quick stop, you know, learn how to 3-hunt. Once you learn how to 3-hunt, fade, in all these types of things, you are going to take your game from good to the next level. You are, I promise. It's kind of, you know, the key to this game right now is 3-hunting with how easy shooting is. And if you can learn how to rhythm shoot with that, you're going to see your three-point percentage skyrocket, you know, in a big time way. So something that I definitely encourage you guys to do. Take all these cards into shoot around for a little bit. Get used to their rhythm shooter. And again, some cards have an easy rhythm shot. Other cards don't. So when it comes down to it, get guys that are good at rhythm shooting. You know, get guys that you can consistently green with. So for example, the old Tracy McGrady, the Pink Diamond T-Mac. I mean, yeah, I ran him for a while because he was, you know, my best shooting guard in the game. But I struggle with that, you know, the rhythm shooter of it, and it hurt me in a big time way. So figure out it, you know, the rhythm shots, figure out, you know, who you can time it with, who you can't. Even for me, like Kobe on this game, so like when I played decades with Kobe, I struggle timing his rhythm shot. So I, you know, shoot with square. And there are going to be certain cards like that, but for the most part, a lot of these cards in my team at this stage have such an easy to time rhythm shot that there is no reason to be using square at this stage if you play the game enough. Again, lab this for a little bit, even try it around, like try it out in online games, offline games. If you're playing domination, try out rhythm shooting, because I promise you, if you do it enough, you're really going to like it. That's gonna wrap it up for my video today though, guys. Hopefully it does help you. I did put the controller on the screen so you guys can kind of see exactly the tempo, exactly the things of it. But just remember, everybody has their own rhythm shot timing. So even Grant Hill, I haven't used a ton of Grant Hill this year, but his rhythm shot is kind of a slow upwards. Like the tempo of it is kind of slow. And so it's one of those things, you gotta start it early, go up slowly. So everybody's got their own tempo. Everybody's got their own shot. It's just kind of fun to mess around, see can you green with everybody's rhythm shot or not. Because again, everybody has their own timing. That's gonna wrap it up. Let me know your thoughts to rhythm shooting. I personally like the fact that it's in the game, but that's just me. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, and as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.